Today I want to talk about something I typically never cover on this channel, which is video games. But to be specific, I'm going to be talking about Smite, if you couldn't tell from the jacket. Look at that. Beautiful jacket. Now this is a game that people who know me will know I am obsessed with. If you're ever wondering why an upload may be taking too long, or why stuff gets pushed back, or why I don't upload as frequently as I could, it's because I'm wasting a whole bunch of hours playing Smite. Smite is a MOBA, which is a multiplayer online battle arena. Other examples of this are Valve's Dota 2, Blizzard's Heroes of the Storm, and Riot Games' League of Legends. The game genre originates from some modifications of StarCraft and Warcraft 3.
Typically the way these games are played is you're put in a 3-lane map, each with 2 towers for your team and 2 towers for the opposing team. Each team has 5 members and the players of those teams control a hero-type character, and the team's goal is to smash through the towers to make it to the enemy's base and destroy whatever structure's in there. Whoever does this first wins.
That's a very basic way of explaining it. There's a lot more complexity and variation between games, but that's really the core concept. I came to Smite after trying out League of Legends, which is the most popular MOBA out there, with my girlfriend, and realizing it just wasn't my thing. So I stopped playing, and then some friends convinced me to pick up Smite, and I'm like, okay, if you guys are gonna play with me, why not? So I downloaded the free-to-play game and I was in love with it nearly immediately. From the playable characters in this game that are based off of gods from old pagan cultures such as Greek, Norse, and Egyptian, and also some less obvious ones like Mayan, Chinese, Japanese, and even Hindu, to the complete change into both camera angle and game mechanics, and even the community, it was far better than anything I experienced before. So now that we've gotten through that whole bit, I want to talk about what makes Smite different and special to me. This is a personal opinion of mine, and I'm sure there are some people out there who have their own opinions on MOBAs, have their own favorite games, and have their own styles that they like. But this is my channel, so go fuck yourself.
First thing I want to touch on is the gods, because that was a major appeal in coming to the series. I've held a long-time fascination with pagan religions that stems from a younger me playing as much ancient mythology as I was allowed. I love this game and it sent me on to reading and studying the gods, so to see them adapt into a game where they brawl against each other was really cool. With League or Dota 2, I see a bunch of characters that mean absolutely nothing to me. I have no attachment or interest in them, and since MOBAs don't really have a plot, the only way you're ever going to learn about them is doing a lot of research on the side. And I'm all about that side research, but there was nothing compelling about these people that made me even want to look into them. But Smite figured out the perfect workaround for this in basing their characters off well-known myths and legends. You already know about the mischievousness of Loki from his role in pop culture, so his in-game abilities as a backstabbing assassin that conjures illusions makes total sense. Or when you see Hercules smashing people into a wall and tossing a giant boulder at people, you can look at him and say, yeah, that's Hercules. While also being able to work in more obscure gods like Chaac, Ao Kuang, and Bellona by connecting them to some basic history or by relating their personality and godly traits to their abilities. For example, how do I know Chaac is the god of rain, the rain he summons to heal him, or the thunder in his ultimate? How can I get a feel for Ao Kuang's dragon might? By tossing an enemy in the air and devouring him, of course. These communicate all you need to know while creating interest in seeing how other gods relate to the gods you already knew about. But this is just some flavoring, some of the extra dishes that make the game a little more lively. The real meat of the game is the controls, and boy is that the biggest reason I'm never going back to League. The playstyle for League feels a lot like an RTS in the way you control your character. To move them you have to click a location and they'll go there, which makes total sense and that's based off a mod for an RTS game. The problem was that for me it felt incredibly distant. The camera perspective for nearly all MOBA games is an overhead third-person view like an RTS, which is a great position if you're playing an RTS like Age of Mythology or Warcraft 3, because it's an appropriate perspective for your role as a player. You're a god who oversees, builds, and manages a base to carry out missions and wars. But when you control a singular character, it's very dull. I don't feel engaged with the character because I gotta tell them where to go. I don't have a physical control over their movement. Sure, I control their abilities, but I still feel detached from this hero. They aren't me, and that's made super clear by the distance and movement style, which makes the actual action of playing the game dull, unless you're doing something else like talking to a friend or watching a video. You know, not playing the game. This is where Smite excels. They bring the camera down behind the character so that you see what they see from their point of view, and they give you direct control of movement through the WASD keys. You hit the button, they move, and this simple control alteration completely changes the game. Now I feel invested. This character is mine. I move them, I control them, and I physically feel like I'm doing something. This also does something else, which is to cut down harassment, which is another thing that drove me away from League. When you're trying to pick up how to play a game, it'd be great if you weren't constantly being badgered by insults.
Guess what kills the community? A bunch of losers going into a casual game and being surprised that casual players play there. If you're such a cool McFucking dude, why don't you just go play ranked? I don't think I'm surprising anyone by saying that League has a poor community, but it's enabled by its style of game. When you can just command your character to walk across the entire map and you have nothing else to do, it's really easy to just type up and explain why everyone else on the team is causing all the problems and it's not your fault at all. I mean, it's not like it's a team game or anything. Not like you really have anything else to do, but the same can't be said for Smite.
To type out messages, you need to stop, type, then start moving again. You have to come to a full stop and leave yourself a sitting duck. You're not moving, which means you're wasting time, which could be used to save your fucking tower or get some kills. Now you could say, but does not limit team interaction, and the answer is actually no, because the voice commands are just a few quick keystrokes to let your team know what you're doing. Also, they can be fun to just have stupid conversations with.
You rock. Cancel that. That's too bad. 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 I am the Dragon King. That's too bad.
Not too great to be limited to just one pantheon.
You have my approval. Cancel that. That's too bad. That's too bad. That's too bad. I cannot be defeated! That was foolish!
I'm not saying harassment doesn't happen in Smite. It happens. It happens everywhere. It's a part of the community that we live in with video games. Some people are assholes. That's just what they do. Like the one just itching to leave a comment on this video about how much of a scrub I am. But I've run across so much less of them in Smite than I ever came across playing League.
This is a lot of my favorite differences between the games, but it extends far beyond these even. I also just love how much variation there is in gameplay from one god to another. From rolling around like Jeb to taking to the air with Jing Wei, from the massive size of Ares and Ymir to being tiny like Cupid or Ratatoskr. There are varying maps besides the boring old Conquest 3-lane 5v5, like a random pick 5v5 1-lane assault match, which is dumb but incredibly fun, to Joust, the 1-lane 3v3 map, or my favorite, which is Siege, which is a 4v4 2-lane map where each team has a counter that fills up, and once it fills up, you get a Siege Juggernaut, which is this giant fucking minion that just wrecks shit up.
To start winding this down, Smite's a game I play on PC with a keyboard and mouse, but it's also available on Xbox One and PS4, the only MOBA that's available like that because of its third-person perspective, which is another thing that's great about it, but whatever. It's a free-to-play game that gives you a limited amount of gods, but if you pay $30, you get all gods that exist and all gods that will ever exist. So really, in my mind, I just always call it a $30 game. I've sunk far too many hours into this game, even after mastering all 80 gods, which I did out of endurance, not skill. I'm not bragging here. Smite is not a perfect game. Some players can be dicks, it's kind of glitchy at times, and the recommended items list is complete garbage. But there is more than enough in this game that keeps me coming back every time and has made it the most played game I have in my repertoire. Thank you for watching this video of me going on and on about Smite. I don't cover video games often. I do it every now and then when I'm passionate about a subject, and this is a subject I am very passionate about because it's one of my favorite games that I have around, so yeah. Thanks for watching the video. See ya next time. Maybe? I don't know. See ya.
We've been doing this for so long, and yet it's come to this. We feel you've been treating us wrong, yet you sit there and insist. No, you two are great. Why don't you just wait? Just know this, there is no hate, but let me translate. We wish you the best of luck, but you guys are a bunch of schmucks. Playing with guys is a real crime. We quit, for real this time.
You have my approval. Cancel that.